So next we're going to be talking about population growth. So let's write that down. Okay. So what is population growth? Pretty straightforward. When your population is getting bigger, it's growing. And we have something specifically called exponential population growth. So exponential Okay, so exponential population growth. You spell exponential E-X-P-O-N-E-N-T-I-A-L. Okay, so when we have exponential population growth, we have population growth that looks like this. We start getting bigger, faster and faster and faster. If this is time, and this is number of people, we are getting more and more people faster and faster. And that makes sense because you have more kids, they're going to have more kids, their more kids will have more kids. It starts getting faster and faster and faster. Okay? So that is the type of population growth that we tend to see. But there are a couple of things that can cause a population to stop getting bigger. And so we call those things limiting factors. Okay? Okay, and so limiting factors are going to be anything that cuts off our population, stops it from getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so things like that will be access to water, food supplies, shelter. Those are all things that if our population doesn't have enough of for everyone to have, the population size is going to start leveling off. And so when we start reaching the threshold of where our population ceases to grow, that is called reaching carrying capacity. Okay? So carrying capacity is when our population ceases to grow. We have started getting to the point where we're being limited by the lack of these resources. So carrying capacity, population ceases to grow. Okay, and so there are a couple of things that we run into when we are having exponential population growth. And so some of those things are problems, let's write this down first. Problems associated with Okay, so problems that we can run into that are associated with exponential population growth, that population growth where we're getting faster and faster and faster. The first one is going to be fuel, wood, shortage. Okay, and so in developing countries, fuel wood is very, very important in order to cook meat and also in order to sanitize water because there's a higher risk of water pollution in developing countries. And as a result, when people get their water, they need to be able to heat it and boil it in order to sanitize it and ensure that it doesn't have certain things in it that they shouldn't be consuming. Okay. The second thing associated with exponential population growth is going to be an increase in waterborne illnesses. Okay, so I drew an arrow up. Waterborne illnesses, okay? So waterborne illnesses, we've talked about a specific one before when we talked about cholera. So the cholera epidemic, which we studied, which happened in London, also happened in other countries. And so when we were talking about it happening in London, we were looking at how it came from a specific source, and there was a lot of population growth, a lot of living in close quarters right around that where the well was. And so when that happened, everyone's living in close quarters. So we were going to have it spreading very, very quickly. So an increase in waterborne illness is going to be associated with an increase in population growth. So that is population growth for you, talking about exponential, getting faster and faster, our limiting factors, which are going to cause us to level out, our carrying capacity, which is the number at about where we're going to level out, and then finally some of the problems associated with population growth.